Electoral office says it is ready and equipped to begin the registration of Grenadians. Acting Supervisor of Elections Elvis Moraine, along with Mr. Michael Millett, System Administrator, and Ferdinand Phillip, Public Relations Officer at the Parliamentary Elections Office, updated members of the media on the issue of the voters' registration cards that will become outdated as of January 31st, 2020. The process, he says, will be replacement of cards and not re-registration, as the Act in its present construct does not make provisions for re-registration and expired cards. Moraine says while many cardholders are concerned about its secondary purpose as a piece of ID for various transactions, the integrity of the process has to be upheld.
Once it's not in law, it's administrative, right? And it means, therefore, that for instance, and I want to do a logical thing. Somebody takes a card at 18, right? And the card runs for, well, in that case, 8 years, you could have significant feature changes, right? So it would have to be an opportunity for you to upgrade, in terms of by way of security, because you can have a card where basically you can identify the physical feature of that person. And that's the reality. So it is an administrative security thing more than anything else, right? That you don't want to have a card. And then the other thing is that if one of the challenges that we have now, which is a secondary challenge, as Sherian mentioned it, in terms of what people use the card for, but without an expiry date, the card may not be able to fit that secondary purpose. We are trying to facilitate the process. We can't compromise the process. So it has to go through the stages in terms of, because verification is critical. Mr. Millett made the point earlier, but I want to emphasize, verification is critical. Now, persons, sometimes you always hear about the issue of purging lease and so on, right? It's an opportunity to start the process, because people have a lot of things that might happen, not just the physical feature, but you might have change in address, all these things. So that opportunity will give you an opportunity to really refine your process to make sure your lease is as clean as possible. All right. So that is also another opportunity. So while I emphasize and I want us to make sure that we have the cards available so people can transact, we are saying, based on our primary purpose, we need to make sure we get it right.
Michael Millett, System Administrator, says the renewal of the cards will follow the same process as 2012 and 2013, when the new voters' registration cards were issued.
Persons are going to come back with the same documents. People might be of the opinion that since the card is going to be replaced, we can just do a reprint. However, all of the procedures that was followed before, when somebody gets registered, the same applies today. Persons are going to come with their expired cards, also walk along with the documents, be it birth certificate, passport, or citizenship document, whatever document is required for registration, and do the complete process all over. So photos are going to be taken, fingerprints taken, signature taken, and the process continues as normal. So it's not just a reprint of a card, but the entire application has to be redone so that the new cards can be issued.
The average processing time for the cards is roughly 2.5 weeks. However, looking at the volume of people that process, Mr. Millett says, may take an extended period. He explains further the need to repeat the entire process even after personal data is in the system and can be retrieved via one's fingerprint.
The system has been designed in such a way to maximize security and to ensure, one, that dead persons aren't on the list, or also to ensure that persons don't have duplicate registration. So in the event somebody would have died and that person would have been removed from the list, the system does not afford us the opportunity or the ability to just put back that person on the list. In the event when you would have collected your cards, those who have gotten cards know you must use your fingerprint to get the card. So in this way, we are certain that you are the recipient of your card. You can't send someone to collect the card. And if it was in a fashion where we can just do a reprint, it means that we can have multiple persons having your card. But also to ensure that if someone was removed from the list, we at the office cannot just reinsert them back on the list. that person has to make an application to get back on the list. So again, if it happens inadvertently that we accidentally removed someone from the list who should have been on the list, we would have to get in touch with that person and ask them to come back again with all the documents and re-register to do that application. So it's just a security feature to ensure that we are not able to just put persons on and off as we will.
The process for the new cards will commence as of February 2020.